In the headlines, President Muhammadu Buhari commissions Dangote's 650,000 barrels per day refinery in Lagos. Resident doctors suspend 5-day warning strike, resume work Monday. Gunmen kill 2 vigilantes trying to foil kidnapping incident in Delta State. And on the foreign scene, 10 dead, 37 critically ill in South Africa cholera outbreak. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari will launch the Dangote refinery on Monday in the heart of a Lekki Free Zone area in Lagos. The facility, described as the world's largest single-train refinery, covers an expanse of land that is approximately 2,635 hectares and is expected to refine 650,000 barrels of oil per day. Ahead of the launch, we take a look at the expected impact of the new refinery, what the new refinery will have on the Nigerian economy. Take a look.
The Dangote refinery project was initially scheduled for completion in 2019, but has suffered several setbacks which caused its completion date to be shifted several times. The issues range from funding challenges, problems importing steel and other equipment, and the coronavirus pandemic, which resulted in economic turmoil. As a result of the pandemic, many vulnerabilities in supply chains were exposed, leading to the delay in transport of some equipment to the refinery. So, the federal government had to wait patiently for the refinery to be completed for its efforts to make Nigeria self-sufficient in local refinery of crude oil to be fulfilled. As the Dangote refinery begins operations next week, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Meye Kyari, has given assurances that the supply of 300,000 barrels of crude oil per day to the facility will commence immediately.
The commercial value in the refinery, we saw the necessity for the completion of this refinery. We also saw a market potential for our company, because by our agreement and by our entry to buy 20% of equity in the refinery, it gives us the right to supply at least 300,000 barrels of crude oil into this refinery. This is a huge long-term value for our company. So it's going to do two things for us. First, we know this refinery will work. We also know that it will make money. So NNPC will benefit from it, from the profits that this refinery will make.
The goal is to save the scarce foreign exchange used in the importation of petroleum products. And Nigerians are hoping that the coming on of the refinery will offer some form of relief to Nigeria's perennial refining challenges. But how feasible are these goals?
And secondly, we also know that because of the sheer capacity of the refinery and the new technology that's involved in this, we know that it will be able to meet, a very significant proportion of the in-country consumption of gasoline in our country, to be very, very specific. So we're very excited. We're very happy that we took position in this company. We're on the board of this company, and this means that, once this refinery comes on stream, and we're able to complete our own rehabilitation exercise, our country will become net exporter of petroleum products, not just to West African stores. Actually, there will be a reverse flow to certain jurisdictions. Today, they are backing out in Europe. A number of refineries are being shut down for the obvious reasons around energy transition.
The Dangote refinery is projecting that it will meet 100% of the Nigerian requirement of all refined products and also have a surplus of each of these products for export. The much-awaited scheduled launch of the facility by President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday has stirred up expectations among Nigerians, industry operators, government officials, and other stakeholders.
The 2023 Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja on Monday has dismissed applications of PDP and Labour Party presidential candidates Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi seeking live broadcast of the tribunal proceedings for lack of merit. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Harunat Amani, upheld the submission of APC presidential candidate and the Independent National Electoral Commission that the application is unnecessary. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, had filed an application on May 8 for an order to allow the live coverage of the daily court proceedings on the case they brought against the president-elect Bola Tinubu following the February 25 election. The Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi followed suit with a similar application asking that proceedings of the tribunal be televised. However, a week later, Tinubu opposed the application for a live broadcast of the proceedings of the election petition, describing it as an abuse of court process. Leadership of the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors have suspended its one-week warning strike, which it embarked upon on Wednesday, May 17. President of the association, Dr. Emeka Orji, told Trust TV via WhatsApp message that the association suspended the action for 2 weeks after reaching some agreement with the government on Friday. He, however, stated that the doctors will meet again on June 2nd, to review progress made with the agreement signed, after which the association will decide on their next line of action. Trust TV earlier reported that the resident doctors and the federal government have reached an agreement over the 5-day warning strike embarked upon by the association. NARD began a 5-day warning strike on May 17 to press home its demands after a 14-day ultimatum to the government lapsed. The doctors are demanding, among other things, the payment of all salary arrears for their members, as well as the immediate upgrade of infrastructure in public hospitals. Moving to crime, the Delta State Police Command confirmed the killing of 2 members of vigilante group at Umutu community in Ukwani local government area of the state. Deputy Superintendent of Police Bright Edafe, who confirmed the killing, said no arrest has been made. The 2 vigilante members, he said, were killed while trying to foil the kidnapping of some persons in the community. A source in the community said one of the vigilantes also sustained gunshot injuries, adding that the gunmen kidnapped 3 persons last Friday after they invaded the river's side in the community. He said following the kidnapping incident, the vigilante group mobilized, combed the bushes and rescued the 3 kidnapped victims. No situation lasts forever, but resentment built up while the circumstances lasted may linger long after. This is what is playing out in Benue State, where many residents no longer patronize point-of-sale operators because of their actions during the Naira swap crisis. The report.
It might have been a cordial relationship before, but certainly not during and after the Naira crisis in Nigeria. Makudi residents say they are no longer interested in withdrawing or depositing with POS operators.
Some of the POS operators, we don't even attend to them. You not see customers around them because of the way they maltreat people, customers. So unlike now, they are looking for customers and they can't find them. When you go, some will still tell you that 5,000 naira is 200 naira and the rest. So you see people running away. Actually, a lot of them are collecting 100 naira for a tune of from 15,000 naira below. So, and a lot of them, they locked up because of the patronage, the low patronage. People doesn't patronize them any longer.
Because of the exorbitant levies, they do levy it on customers during the cashless policy. Most of them are now hunting for customers, but customers are running away from them. Like there was a particular POS operator within our jurisdiction that used to collect 2,000 naira, pay 4,000 naira. That is 50% of what you are going to withdraw. But currently, he's begging for people to come and withdraw 5,000, pay 100 naira.
Older residents, however, still occasionally transact businesses with the POS operators due to proximity, but they say they do so with misgivings.
I patronize them when I have no choice to patronize them, compared to what they did to us during the cash crunch the other time. So we have no choice than to patronize them because of the transfer fare. At times we want to go to the ATM, have to, due to the transfer fare in Makodi, the cost is very high, so you can compare going and coming back. Then you have no choice than to patronize the one close to you. The people complain, we discuss, so people tell us different views. concerning the POS operators. Yes. Like even presently, if you want to withdraw like 10,000, some will telling you 200, some are collecting 100 naira. You understand? So people are still facing challenges.
The Naira crisis has been etched in Nigerian history as a very painful time for citizens. The POS operators did not cover themselves in glory while it lasted, exploiting the situation on Nigerians with unreasonable charges. The e-feeling from those testy periods have lingered and soured customer-operator relationships in the long run.
Property and estate developers in Bauchi State say middlemen, also called agents, play complementary roles and often facilitate transactions between a property owner and a buyer, especially when they're paid a commission. Adamu Imam speaks to some property owners on the perceived exploitation by agents in property deals.
Tenants employ the services of agents to rent an apartment or house in return for a fee payable to the agents. The property owner also pays a commission when an agent brings a buyer. In Bauchi, the story is the same. Middlemen or agents often make profit from property they neither owe nor labor to build. We, the medium-scale property developers, sometimes we sold them to a customer, but the payments will take longer than expected, and we become stranded. Usually, we transact with the capital. This is a biggest problem. More so, at times, no one will come, except we follow another channel to make up the market. Some of the agents explain how they become so important to both party buyers and sellers. For instance, they will give us price so that we can add something to take it to the market and look for the buyer or clients for rent, or we make it on percentage. And on the other hand, the buyer, we usually bargain that how many percent will he give us. If he agree, then we make transaction with him. That's all.
Most of the times, agent takes you to the place and later on he calls you about the issue, tell him that tomorrow you will come or later I will come back. Call him, say, let it till tomorrow or next tomorrow.
It's around the first payments that the client will pay, understand? So maybe when the client comes, he needs to enter the house. So the agents will say, maybe the house owner will say his house that maybe the client will pay maybe around 300,000, while the agent will say client is going to pay maybe like 400,000. So at the end of the day, the agent will get more profits than the house owner.
They acknowledge that agency in property business does not require big capital at the beginning, but with patience one can succeed and make substantial money. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at traditional delicacy in Delta State. Stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you that President Muhammadu Buhari commissions Dangote's 650,000 barrels per day refinery in Lagos. You also heard that resident doctors suspend 5-day warning strike, resume work Monday. Moving to more stories, climate change is a global phenomenon that is causing significant changes in weather patterns, leading to droughts, flood, and extreme temperatures. These changes are impacting on agriculture, particularly on cattle rearing and meat selling business in Katsina State. Jamil Mabay speaks to farmers and industry experts on how climate change is affecting the meat industry in the state.
Aminu, a cattle farmer in Katsina, has been struggling to maintain his livestock because of impact of climate change. Over time, the cost of maintaining his livestock has tripled. This increase in cost is due to the scarcity of water and pasture, which are essential for the survival of his cattle. It can go to just nearby and get grass, and the cost is less. But now, no grazing land, no water. You have to buy water unlike before. There are dams all over the place. Amina's story is just one of many examples of how climate change is affecting the livelihoods of farmers and the quality of food they produce.
As inflation bites harder, customers' purchasing power has declined. But the bigger challenge is the adverse effects of climate change on the entire meat production value chain. Grazing lands have vanished, and the water level has also dropped. And the lack of grazing lands and water affects even the quality of the meat we eat.
The meat industry faces similar threat of climate change. The decrease in the quality and the quantity of meat produced has led to an increase in the price of meat.
That is the reason why the cost of meat keeps increasing, because you have to buy water. With 500 naira, you can get food for one cow, but now you have to spend 2,000 naira.
This increase in price has affected the purchasing power of consumers, leaving the meat sellers' business with low demand and patronage. According to experts, technology can salvage the farmers.
And there are several reports that shows correlation between the climate change and the cost of meat production, and also the reduction in quality. So it has caused reduction in terms of the foliage, like grasses. So grasses are no longer growing as usual. When you look at 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the amount of grasses, and in fact the quality, the nutrient value of the grasses has also reduced because of the chemical and fertilizer application in the farming or in the grazing areas. Yeah, technology can actually play significant impact. There are two things that will come into play. There is something that is called smart adaptation practice. For example, there is this modern ways of growing the feed, like hydroponics. Hydroponic is a kind of organic method of farming. So they are producing a very qualitative, highly nutritious food content, and also enough food to feed their livestock.
Experts say urgent action is needed to address the effects of climate change on the agricultural sector. Jamil Mabay, Trust TV News, Katsina.
Food delicacies sometimes represent the identity of a people, as it is often part of culture. Still in Delta State, we learn about the people of Anioma, known for a special type of soup, Ofe Nsala. Jonathan Awanyai tells us more about this delicacy.
Ofe Nsala is a delicacy peculiar to the Aniomas of Delta State and other Igbo-speaking people. Ofe Nsala is known as white soup because palm oil is not used for the preparation, unlike other traditional soups.
This is the cow tail, and it's a protein for the food, for the Nsala soup. And why this is the pepper? the fresh pepper used in preparing the Nsala soup. This is a thickener, and the thickener is a yam. You pound the yam together to get to the paste. And this is the yam paste. It's called the yam paste we use in thickening Nsala soup. This is additional ingredients, which is dry fish, oporoko, thereabouts. We bring them together, scotch them together, bring them and use it to make the soup too. These are the spices used in preparing Nsala soup. As you can see the blended crayfish is there. You can see there's some cubes of maggi. There's something we call in our languages is okpei and dawada for those that do not know. And this is the dry pepper. This is a spice. It's a mixed up spice, mixed up with African nutmeg and the rest. Yeah. And this is the sauce. Then you get the fresh fish. This is the fresh fish you use in preparing it.
While it is traditionally made with catfish, you can cook with any protein of your choice. It is delicious, easy to prepare, and affordable. Trust TV visited a food vendor who explained the process of preparation.
Which is you add the crayfish, the okpeye, the dry pepper, and the spices that give it a very good smell, a good aroma that comes out from it. Without the spices, you don't get the Nsala soup. That's the major ingredient we use in preparing the Nsala soup. Then you add your cubes of maggi to taste. Then you add the salt to taste.
It is usually served in special occasions like traditional marriages and cultural events. It is also commonly prepared for mothers who have just given birth. Those who we met at the restaurants explain why they prefer Nsala soup to other delicacies across the country and how affordable it is.
Nsala soup, this is the local one. They don't use to put oil in it, and it's very, very fine. We have been eating it for a long time in this place. But it's very good for pregnant women and maybe somebody who is sick. All those kind of things, malaria, all those things. It's very good for it because of the spices they used to prepare it and other things.
Why I like the food is that the soup is that it's been made with natural ingredients. And I was born and brought up with the meal. So each time I want to enjoy myself, I always come to enjoy the meal. And although it's affordable, that everyone can.
Ofe Nsala is best enjoyed with pounded yam, eba or akpu. Whenever you visit Delta State, try a plate of delicious Ofe Nsala. Jonathan Awanyai for Trust TV News, Asaba.
All right, now we'll go back to the Dangote refinery launch where the Daily Trust Bureau Chief in Lagos, Alade Abiodun, is representing Trust TV. The commissioning is actually ongoing and he joins us on call with a live update. Good morning, Mr. Abiodun. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on News Update. Hello, Mr. Abiodun.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so what can you tell us about the commissioning of the Dangote refinery? This is supposed to be, or this is the world's largest single train refinery that could be a game changer for the Nigeria's oil and gas sector. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, so the venue is filled with all the power that is in the country. You have the president of the Senate, all the dignitaries, as well as president from 5 other countries, because this is a project that is just not of interest to Nigeria alone, but to the entire African countries. So you have president from Cameroon, from Benin Republic, even from Chad. You know, they are all here today to actually come out witness this. You have almost all the governors as well as the governors-elect, and then you have the governor of the CBN, you have the GMD of the NNPC. They are all here today to actually give the support, because this is a project that is expected to be a game changer, like you said. It's a project that is expected to turn Nigeria from being a petrol import dependent country to an exporter of refined petroleum products. This is a project that is believed can create a market of about $21 billion for the Nigerian crude oil. So this is huge and this is massive.
Okay, now the petrochemical complex is also equipped with 432 megawatts power plants. Now, does Lagos and other neighboring states stand to benefit from this in terms of electricity supply?
Yes, so, one of the things that the proprietor of this project has been doing is to see how they can support, especially their host community. So the people of Ibeju-Lekki, when they have this project, I believe that they are going to be the major beneficiary. They will be able to also tap from the availability of power supply. So it is also going to be a game changer because what you have here is enough to take care of at least 5 states. Take care of Oyo, take care of Ekiti, take care of Osun, take care of Kwara State, and take care of Ondo, which is what the Ibadan Disco is doing. So the amount of megawatt that they can take care of 5 states, but they have enough resources to actually share with their host community.
Okay, so do you have an idea of what other countries will be shipping crude to this complex?
Yes, so from what the president of the Dangote Group said, so what he has told us so far from his speech is that he believes that this is the right position for Africa because at least 53 countries in this continent depend on petroleum. So they will also be when tea is at maximum production, we also intend to at least send out 40% of whatsoever they are producing here to other countries and across the rest of the world.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Alade Abiodun, for sharing your thoughts with us on the commissioning of the Dangote refinery. That was Alade Abiodun, Lagos Bureau Chief representing Trust TV. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.